The View, President Trump causes Ana Navarro epic meltdown. In a fiery and emotionally charged episode of The View, political commentator Ana Navarro experienced what many are calling an epic meltdown in response to a recent development involving former President Donald Trump. The show, known for its unfiltered commentary and dynamic panel discussions, took an especially intense turn as Navarro confronted the controversial figure's continued influence over the American political landscape. Her reaction, both passionate and pointed, ignited national attention and became the focal point of the day's media buzz. As Navarro sat alongside her co-hosts on the panel, the topic turned, as it so often does in modern political discourse, to Trump's latest headline-grabbing appearance. Whether it was a speech, a court appearance, or yet another social media tirade, the exact spark for Navarro's reaction seemed secondary to the emotional weight she carried into the conversation. As she listened to clips of Trump addressing his supporters, her frustration visibly mounted. "This is madness," Navarro began, her voice rising. "We are watching a man who has spent years undermining every democratic institution in this country continue to operate like he is above the law. And what's worse, millions are cheering him on." Her face reddened as she gestured forcefully, slamming her palm against the table as if to punctuate her anger. The studio audience, used to the show's lively tone, was struck silent by her outburst. Even her fellow panelists, often just as vocally opinionated, paused to let Navarro speak. Navarro, a Republican-turned-independent who has long criticized Trump's rhetoric and actions, expressed deep concern over what she described as the normalization of authoritarian behavior in American politics. She referenced the continued support Trump receives despite multiple legal investigations and ongoing controversies. Her voice cracked as she spoke of her fears for the country's future. "What scares me isn't just Donald Trump," she said. "It's what he represents. It's the willingness of people to excuse anything as long as it's their guy doing it. We have completely lost sight of moral consistency." Her impassioned comments sparked nods of agreement from co-hosts Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin, while Alyssa Farah Griffin, another conservative voice on the panel, tried to interject with a more measured tone, acknowledging Trump's flaws while warning against demonizing his base. But Navarro wasn't having it. "No, Alyssa, I'm sorry," Navarro shot back. "This isn't about both sides anymore. This is about decency. This is about truth. This is about whether we're going to let a man who tried to overthrow an election waltz back into the White House like nothing happened." The tension on the set was palpable. Even Whoopi Goldberg, the show's moderator and voice of calm, looked momentarily overwhelmed. She eventually stepped in to shift the conversation, but Navarro wasn't done. Her hands trembling, she removed her earpiece momentarily, clearly trying to compose herself. Navarro continued, "I have family members who lived through dictatorships. I've seen what happens when strong men are allowed to rise unchecked. We're not immune just because we're America. This country is on the edge." The emotional weight of her words lingered long after the commercial break. When the show returned, Goldberg acknowledged the heaviness of the moment. "We're all feeling a lot," she said softly. "This is not just politics anymore. These are real fears, real concerns." Throughout the remainder of the episode, Navarro seemed more subdued but no less determined. She spoke of the importance of civic engagement, urging viewers to get involved, vote, speak up. Her message resonated with many who feel similarly anxious about the current political climate. The fallout from Navarro's on-air breakdown was immediate. Clips of the moment went viral across social media platforms, with hashtags like #AnaNavarro and #TheView trending for hours. Reactions were mixed. Supporters praised her courage and authenticity, while critics accused her of overreacting or being overly dramatic. In the days that followed, Navarro addressed the incident again during an interview, explaining that her reaction came from a place of deep emotional investment in the country's future. "I love this country," she said. "I was born in Nicaragua. I became an American by choice. And when I see the ideals of democracy being chipped away day by day, I feel like I have to speak up. I have to raise my voice, even if it shakes." Her co-hosts, too, spoke out in support of her. Joy Behar praised her moral clarity, while Sunny Hostin applauded her for saying what many of us are feeling, but don't always have the words for. Even those who disagreed with Navarro's tone admitted that her passion was undeniable. Behind the scenes, production insiders reported that the day's episode had been unusually intense. Crew members noted a somber mood backstage following the segment, with many taking time to decompress after what one staffer called one of the most emotional moments we've seen on set in years. But not everyone was sympathetic. Conservative commentators were quick to mock Navarro, with several accusing her of melodrama and virtue signaling. Some pointed to her background in Republican politics, suggesting she was trying to distance herself from her own past by overcompensating with outrage. Still, the episode raised important questions about the role of political commentary in the media. Should daytime talk shows tackle serious political issues with such emotional intensity? Is it the responsibility of TV hosts to remain calm and composed, or does authenticity sometimes require rawness? Navarro herself believes in the latter. People are tired of fake calm, she said in a follow-up conversation. They want to see the truth. They want to see that someone cares. I care. The incident also brought renewed attention to The View as a cultural and political touchstone. Over its many seasons, the show has evolved from lighthearted celebrity gossip to one of the few mainstream platforms where women from across the political spectrum debate the day's most pressing issues. It is precisely this blend of personal, political, and emotional that keeps the show relevant and, often, controversial. As election season heats up, moments like Navarro's are likely to become more common. The nation is deeply divided and passions are running high. In such a climate, it is perhaps inevitable that commentary will sometimes spill over into deeply personal territory. For Navarro, though, the line between personal and political has always been blurred. I've been called every name in the book, she said. But I'm not going to stay quiet. Not when democracy is at stake. While her outburst may have shocked some viewers, others saw it as a wake-up call, a reminder that the stakes in American politics remain as high as ever. Whether one agrees with her or not, there is little doubt that Ana Navarro's meltdown on The View was a moment of real human emotion in a media landscape often criticized for being superficial.